Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus. Am I making shot? No, exact shot. Cool. And today we're going to be playing some more Factorio Space Age, and we're going to be working on Gleba. Hopefully, getting. Why is that not staying still? Damn thing. Hopefully, getting the green science packs up and running as the main thing. What we need to focus on first, I think, is getting some defences working. I did just want to check after yesterday's. Maybe if I bump that up. There. What's that on the... Yeah. Or it's maybe a bit higher. Let's have a go. 60% maybe. Cool. Hopefully that'll be okay. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yes, I'm testing out the fix, or the theoretical fix on the camera. So there's a very good chance that in 20 minutes it will basically turn itself off. So I will have to fart about. So just the warning on that as per usual. And what I didn't do was when I pressed the button is adjust the camera. There we go. What this will hopefully allow me to do is to use the higher quality HDMI output as well. Is that working? Yeah, that's working. We got the audio. Yeah, cool. Cool. Get there eventually. Right, so why is that on the wrong... there we go. I was wondering why I couldn't see chat, and it's because it's not on the right page. There we go. Get all that set up. Cool. You can't tell I just sort of dashed in and got this all set up in 10 minutes, can you? Right, yes, so what we need to do, I think, because you'll notice this guy here, medium pentapod, whatever it's called, carcass, shell, is basically because we're getting some attacks coming in, which I think is more to do with expansion than anything else, because I had a quick go round in the pollution cloud, if I turn that on, but that's nowhere near, so we have artillery covering the pollution cloud. I think this guy might have run out, yeah, so that's the other issue. We need to be bringing in artillery and, you know, gun bullets and gun foods and etc. We don't have that much pollution going on, is the point. And I did go have a quick skim round, because what I did this morning, rather, I guess naughtily in a sense, I was meant to be continuing writing the scripts, but what I did instead was on Nowvis, I started some upgrades, so turn that off. You'll notice here, and this will keep flashing, because I don't really have any... I guess I could take out... If I just get rid of the orders, maybe. But I started using some quality modules, basically. Quality is awesome. I think it's going to take me a while to work it all out and how I want to do it, as it were, how I want to play with it. But quality modules are just, like, amazing, because this here, I don't know if I can show it on the prod charts. So if I do this down to science, say, yeah. So if we look at the last... How long was I playing for? About 3 hours, wasn't it? So, yeah, that kind of shows it. This was what we were ticking along at. This was my base with... it did have blue assemblers on it as well, though, so there's that. But this was the base running along, doing sciences. As you can see, swapping in and out, because not all sciences use every science pack now. And then this is me fiddling about putting in modules and upgrading things and running out of material, and that's why it drops off sometimes, and then upgrading other things and all that sort of stuff. And we're up here now, basically. So we were doing around... Where's the actual science thing? So around 60 sciences a minute, which is what I was expecting. That was, you know, kind of what I built it for. And then if we look at right now, we're doing 250 sciences a minute. Obviously, that's a rolling average, so it's, you know, in that ball, let's call it 240. So it's gone 60, 120, so quadrupled the amount of science. And if you look here, we are really, you know, I'm actually doing that, basically, because these are just stacked up. I think purple is struggling to get, you know, it's getting used quicker than we're you know, the labs aren't all working, basically, because that was the last one I upgraded, and we did run out of stone, and I didn't spot that for quite a while. So that one's kind of backing itself up, basically. So yeah, the point is that, you know, it really is at that sort of level, you know. And it's all because of modules, basically, quality modules. We've got I've got level 3s in there to say try and catch it up a bit. But then, and I did put some in here when I was experimenting as well, but we've got level 2 quality modules, and obviously we can now start unlocking on Gleba. We can get the, I don't know what it calls it, the level 4 science, the level 4 quality. Epic, is it? Something like that. And so yeah, so I've been, you know, busy upgrading and all that sort of stuff. I didn't really bother with the circuits because we do have the separate build, which is the other thing that I need to do. In fact, I might do that now, actually. What I can do, because we only have a small trickle of, you know, like big mining drills and all that sort of stuff. And it's all sort of stabilised on the planet, so we could probably start bringing more across. But I don't really want to fill the ships up, basically, because they don't have a lot of spare room. So what I was thinking is that I could stick in some buffer chests and basically get them requested over. So if we put in, oops, say some buffer chests, which machines do we want? So I guess if I set this on like 100 boundaries, requesting in, and then what, 100 BMGs or something. So the, you know, the basically the platforms won't request more than the 20, so it'll keep a relatively steady flow, I'm hoping. But then we get a lot of, you know, sort of a pile of these on the go. What's the other machine? I guess, should we, if we put the, am I going to bring biochambers here? We want recyclers, so we can put them on. So I can do quality stuff, I guess. Well, am I going to bother with the Gleba things? We won't for now, but yeah, it's a distinct possibility. Because what I need to start doing, really, the next upgrade, I think, and so when we come back, is, you know, starting using the actual machines. And so we need a bit of a stockpile of them. Because I was going around also tidying up. I was having a really good tidy up, basically, this morning. Which makes me happy, but it's not the most interesting of things. Yeah, we need to swap these out for big mining drills, and, you know, so that we can extend the patches and I don't have to go out and find new ones. You know, I got plenty of resource kicking about. But we will start eating through it, you know, when we get more of the sciences up and running, and I need to build more platforms and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's the plan, basically, is eventually to transition some of it, you know, so we could replace this with a foundry and EMP-based build, is what I'm thinking. And that'd be a bit of fun to, you know, play around with as well. Whether I'll stream that, I don't know. I might do that personally. Did extend solar as well a bit, just to make sure we didn't run out of power with me doing the upgrades. And we've now got even bigger stockpile of solar panels. And yeah, lots of quality modules being used. I had to upgrade all of this as well. We're finally using some green belts. As you can see, it's backing up with steel now, which is miraculous. We've only got two arrays of steel, and it's producing more than we can actually burn. So yeah, quality is immense. Now, what we need to do, I think, is design something that's a bit more sustainable than this. I quite like the concept of it. And then what I could do is I can position it, I think, you know, sort of here maybe or something, so that it covers the field. But, because what happened with this, it basically set my own, you know, fruits on fire, basically. So I'm wondering about maybe, well, what I could do, maybe, I could have a separate one for just like dot a few around, as it were. Because how much spare power do we have? I think we've got plenty, haven't we? We've got loads, yeah. So I could use EMPs. Not EMPs. Tesla cells. To kind of slow everybody down, basically. And then maybe have a separate one. Because I don't really know if they come and, you know, if they get... Because basically I was testing out shooting them with artillery. Because there was some... Where was it? I think it was down here. And I don't know, they didn't seem to respond in the way that biters do. It was all a bit strange, really. So I don't really know quite what's going on with how they work. Yeah, anyway, let's go up and design a little sort of artillery one, and maybe a separate module that I can drop around that has sort of EMPs and lasers, maybe. So, yes, if we go... Am I going to power it up? I guess. And then we want... In fact, in that case, I need to order all that stuff in, don't I? Probably not them. And I don't need 800 ammos. Need to rethink all of my logistics requesty things. This has been chugging away as well, by the way. I haven't had any notifications of outbreaks, so I assume that pentapods of, eggs have been just, being recycled around and horribly burnt and all that sort of stuff. A bit worrying that there's 6 of them there. Did I not pour them into here? On the way 6. Cool. So they're picking them up, I guess. I didn't copy that across, did I? It's doing one of the weirder songs. I don't need 100 barrels, really, do I? Oh, it's only brought a few. Yeah, okay. Right, so... Do we want power... I guess we want a little bit of electricity in this as well. Maybe if I do it, say... I'm just thinking so that it's that it can sort of tick along if they come in and destroy a power pole or something like that. So if I do that there, and maybe put that there, because maybe it should have a roboport in it as well. Because how big would that be? That'd be that big. So because the actual, what's it called? Oh, have we not got any? Can't see EMPs. I keep calling them EMPs. Tesla turrets, there we go. Alright, so that's 4x4 as well, okay. So maybe they could both go inside me. And then like that maybe. Okay. So I guess then gun turrets is going to be best because they're obviously then, they don't need power basically. So perhaps we do something where we have a chain of gun turrets. Is that in line with the edge? It is. It's slightly off there. Okay. So maybe I could do. What trying to achieve then? Alright, if I maybe do that. I'm actually thinking maybe almost a backwards and forwards feeding thing. So I couldn't put anything in there. No. So, in other words, Because if they're going to come in and steal... stomp one part of it, then... But then I have to put something in there, wouldn't I? So maybe we... Because there's a gap there. How about... Nice for it to be symmetrical. Not really necessary as such. Yeah, so they can both feed forwards and backwards. And then you've got Tesla, because they have quite a big range then. Cool. So then this would be requesting, say, a bunch of that. I could also, I mean, I could double it up, couldn't I, really? Yeah, let's just leave it like that. And then some landmines, I think. Because landmines. I'm not at all sure about how this does. I think they've tried to add indicators to show you where the landmines are going, but you need them on the grid, really. You need to, you know, when you're placing them. Because having them after the fact is a little confusing. Like, you see, it's missed one out there because that's obviously not properly placed. What I think I can probably do is that. You see, it's not vertically right then. Not that it matters, but... Do I want them that... I don't think I want them that close, do I? Yeah, I don't... I get how it places them. It's all very strange. Let's do it like that. So then... That'll give me the range. They're quite effective, the landmines, because say this is prompted by against, you know, that medium was that I showed you the corpse of was basically killed by a landmine, or certainly really badly affected by a landmine. I don't actually know what they'll do when it, you know, it's trying to feed them back and forth. I hope it works, but you never know. See if we get these gaps. It is tres annoying. Yeah, let's do a second sort of row. Pop that on there. I seem to remember having worked out a way of like laying landmines really well, but so I don't remember ever doing that, the sort of excluding thing. Yeah. Because I was used to love laying landmines on my walls, but it gets a bit tedious. Plus, bots replacing them is a bit sort of disastrous. Oh, hello, Bacon Magician. How you doing? No Friday Facts made me and my friends a bit sad. Indeed, indeed. I posted on my community wall thing that it's a bit sort of... I was a bit sort of lost, really, because my Fridays have just been, you know, well, Friday afternoon, basically, and kind of... And then maybe we put, say, 10 in there or something. could also put in sort of... Actually, that should really be a... Because it's useful to have multiple power connections usually with defensive. Because oh, don't go shooting at stuff. What are you shooting at? Let's get this blueprinted first. So if this is the artillery one... Yeah, I agree. It sort of feels a bit weird, you know? It's a bit sort of... Oh, what am I meant to do with myself now? Okay, who are you shooting at? Up there. I guess that's because that one had run out, basically, and so... Guessing that's where it's firing? Let's go and see if we can intercept them before they come and cause me problems. Where are you? I don't really need to... LDS will sort it out. Any more? All good? Well, I guess it was these ones up here. Beep. Got 2 shot by a stomper and had basically no way to claim my corpse. Shipped in some Tesla weapons for the first time, very fun. And quite strong against the Pentamods, completely places the flamethrower as the anti-swarm tool. Yeah, very much so. I was messing about with it yesterday, also last week, obviously. But yeah, it's very, very effective. Hugely power hungry. What's it on? 1 megawatt minimum consumption, which is a lot for a single turret. And each shot is like 7 megawatts. I don't know, can I get the power grid up? Oh, of course it wasn't firing, was it? But yeah, this is at, I mean, I think I've got 4, basically. So it's 4 megawatts. And everything else is, you know, it's going to be the equivalent of lasers, basically, very, very quickly. Okay, so that I'm happy with that as our sort of, this is the one with a Tesla, with a artillery on it. So we can go and plop that around. We have got a couple of power things, right? So what we then want is a smaller one, really, that I can sort of put on different edges for stuff coming in. But let's make it basically very similar. So if I sort of pop it down again, I can maybe edit it. So basically we want to get rid of this. And maybe put you more... I think I prefer... if I sort of squeeze that down, maybe. Like that. Sorry, you don't really need to refill it, guys. It's fine. And then maybe... what I could do, I could put that in the middle. And then those could go sort of there. Like that. And then... not sure about this. I think the inserters thing might be a terrible idea, but we'll give it a go. Because I think they're just sort of passing them back and forth without ever stopping. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I need to do a long-handed, a long one as well, don't I? Oh, I thought I cut and paste them. Yeah, no Friday facts, and kind of no more ever Friday facts, potentially. So if this was more like on a diagonal, would that be doable? Yeah, I say the chainy thing may be a terrible idea, so I think just to be safe. So rather than put it in there. Oops, no. Well, yeah, actually, to do that. That feels like one of my terrible ideas. I think maybe those two going back and forth is fine. Because they're the furthest from the thing, so you get access to ammo from either. But that goes that way. We'll do that one. And then... So that has to go... I think that was wrong anyway, wasn't it? That has to go that way. That way. Okay, so let's redo... Oops. Redo that blueprint. To be frank, it's this type of track that I don't really like. It's too complicated for me. Maybe. No, I can't squeeze them in there. Oops. If that was sort of poking out, then that'd give a room for that one. That's like that. Things like that maybe. Can even do... Slightly offset them. That doesn't reach, does it? What have I done wrong there? I've put that in the wrong place. There you go. Do all these have 50, 50, 50, 50? Not they got all that ammo, but... Do. Cool. So it's not that much smaller, is it? How about then... Don't have that turret on it? And maybe if I did that, so they're both 4x4. What I could do, you'd have that there, that there, that there, that there. I offset like... Oh, that's a point actually. I offset it like that. Oops. Because that, I mean, that's always powered and that's always powered. Yeah, I prefer that, I think. So then we can go... Down one there. Down one there. Can't really adjust that one though, can I? And then... that down. Again, not particularly small as such, but... Oh. So how about we take that in? Sorry, I'm distracted. So, also, no matter how many times I watch people play this silly game... oh, cracky, I've missed several there. Sorry, Bacon Magician. The slow on Stumpers and Strafers is... Yeah, the slowdown on them, it's amazing. It's like... I don't know, what does the Legendary do there? So the ranging... So when you get... You know, the actual shooty one, you know, the handgun version, increases the range of them. So you're getting slowdown like way out. And a legendary, it must be like they don't get anywhere near you. 1 megawatt passive draw, that's a ton. They do their job though, yeah. Strafers are annoying as bonk. They can really fit their role as what? They can really fit their role as doing small damage but annoying the crap out of you and dodging you and the turrets. Yeah, they're... I don't know, I think in combination they're quite good with the others, if you see what I mean. Quite a good combo thing, but I've not really found them to be problematic at all, really, strafers. They're just a bit sort of... They're just sort of there. Why is that not... Right. So, that was that. So you could fit a turret in there, and in there. Okay, that's why. So yeah, that's not smaller at all, is it? Mission failed. Mission completely failed. Mission failed. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to shrink this down. Focus mostly on the Tesla turret doing the work. Maybe we chuck in a laser or two to beef up power. Yeah, that seems a bit more compact. Cut that across there. Sort of there maybe. What's that about? Put a turret in there. Maybe squeeze it in that way a bit. So I don't know what it is, because well, the devs commented on I was saying last time about, seems like they're playing more tracks, that it's suddenly more tracks than I'd heard before, and I said nothing's changed. I just sort of, I don't know, noticing them more? Don't know. Unless my copy of the game was balked in some way and it was only playing a couple. Cool. So we got a couple of sort of variants really now. But we need to go and spam around. Also, no matter how many times I watch people play this silly game, I love it. It never came up with this events like you did. One box of uranium ammo with a ring of tanks encircling a Tesla tower. Power and a rover genius. You're right. Yeah, it is interesting seeing different people's solutions. There's a couple of things I do that I don't know, just seem like I think the thing of it with me, for me anyway, is that it's like they become, I don't know, it's like almost well, why wouldn't you do it that way? And I'm sure everyone gets that same sort of feeling in a sense of like, well, isn't that the obvious solution? And it's like, no, it isn't. It's, that's just how you've done it, sort of thing. So I'm thinking that we need to deconstruct this thing altogether. But yeah, so everyone seems to solve things kind of differently. It's the thing of I struggle with because you get that whole thing of people using other people's blueprints, and it's like I always try to be, if that's how they need to play, how they want to play, and it's totally fine, sort of thing. It's not. I don't think it's a bad thing to use other people's blueprints, but to me, the sort of fun of the game is the whole. How am I going to do this? What's my solution to this problem? But other people enjoy more. Just build big sort of thing, and just leave it at that. I'm sure. So what was I going to connect that to? Where's the? Oh, there it is. I didn't put any flamers on, did I? I think I don't care then. Because land mounts have proved quite effective at sort of getting rid of them. So that's the one with the artillery. I have done a couple of rangers as well, so we might well get some of these killed off. Because obviously we had a artillery turret there, but it didn't have any ammo. So I think they're at a evolutionary level that they're actually... There you go. So we can test out how effective it is, basically. I need to be out the way so that I'm not, you know, killing them off with personal lasers. The whole landfill thing is just such a nice quality of life. I mean, they seem to have changed it so that the super force build is just the automatic thing. That's just what it always does, basically, when you're in like remote view and stuff. You see what I mean? These guys have been hit by an artillery thing, and it's presumably destroyed their egg, and then they're just standing there doing nothing. But these guys haven't. Look, these guys have come in. Or maybe... I mean, these guys maybe were spawned. Alright, and then these are coming in. So why aren't these guys coming in? Oh dear. This could be interesting. See, I mean, the landmines are just super effective at everything. Why did they all blow up together? Was that a shot from the Tesla turret? Wow, okay. See, landmines are just like cheat code for combat. But it's the whole thing of bots replacing them is the pain in the bum. Because they end up going out, you know, while there's still stuff there and just getting blown up themselves, and it becomes very, very costly if you try and automate it. So it's got, you know, shells in it, so presumably there's just nothing in range. Cool. Okay, so that worked fine, I think. So long as we get a supply of landmines going on, I think we're okay. So what we'll do, because things could come in, and I say I don't really get whether they kind of, you know, respond to attacks or not, because sometimes they just seem to stand there and ignore it, and other times they'll actually respond to being attacked. They've disappeared now. I think they might have despawned, but you know, why were there some there that were just doing nothing? Right, so in which case I think I'm going to pop around. So this is like a safe bit, isn't it? I think the other one, this one here, not bad in. My girlfriend and I charted out the science requirements for each tech, up to see visually. Yellow and grey almost always go together for military tech, and purple is only needed for prod techs. Right, you put military there because you just automatically snipe new expansions. Smart. That's the idea, yeah. I say the thing really is then the response groups. Are there going to be any? And, you know, how does it manage them, basically? It's probably a dumb place for that, really, isn't it? Because that leaves it exposed. But yeah, and that's kind of tends to be how I work with the biters as well. I'll just sort of... it's probably a bit better, a bit defended. So it's really difficult visually, isn't it, to see what's what. Because this is the pink stuff here. I don't know if it gets better if you sort of take everything out, maybe? If that's a bit clearer. It's a very, very bit busy kind of environment. So yeah, I guess we would probably want another one here. And ideally one there. Let's get rid of that. But yeah, I didn't put any flame or stuff on. But I don't really want to blow my, you know, burn my own stuff down all the time. Okay, so let's maybe try and put one here. Yeah, difficulty is going to be making sure we've got the uranium ammo and all that sort of malarkey. Drop that down. Wrong one. So hopefully I set this up properly. This doesn't so it doesn't appear to have... That's fog aura. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong things. 5 legs. There we go. So we got ammo. Only 25 though, so maybe we do pop that up to 50. Now what about shells? I don't think it's automatically bringing shells, this, is it? Maybe we try it? No, 5's going to be a lot, isn't it? But then I've got weird, random, extra rubbish in this, haven't I? Do I need to bother bringing the barrels? I think I might get rid of the barrels. Maybe we could get level 5? Oh, that appears to have gone to 0. Tesla ammo, I guess, is more just for me, isn't it? But it would be good that if that's always in stock. But what we could do is maybe say... I kind of want... Oh, I don't really need piercing ammo though, do I? Where are you, anyway? Stopped at Gleba, okay. So do we really need 200 belts? Given I'm not really belting this. I guess we'll just have them. And then we need those. I've got furnaces rather. So I've got all of them. It's almost just in case, really. I haven't really decided whether I'm going down the route of having a gigantic, platform that just goes around providing everything everywhere. Apparently that's how they tended to do it in the dev playthroughs. The other option is more, directed stuff, since you can't set these in the way that I would want to, sort of thing. Okay, so I guess one thing it also needs, which I've not got on there, is repair packs. Just waiting on it making the ammo, I think. But yeah, I guess I could get rid of the capsules as well. Let's just get rid of them in that way. I'll keep destroyers as a thing that comes here. Because obviously that's electric damage, which they're particularly vulnerable to. We could also, I guess, bring in spare Tesla turrets. The question there is whether any of them might get blown up or not. Let's add them on, but what do they stack to? I bet it's just 1 or something. In a rocket, that is. Rocket capacity 10. Wow, okay. Some of these numbers have become, when they introduced the whole weight limit thing, they were kind of going, well, we start off with it being based on actual weight limit and all that sort of stuff, and then I don't know. It's just, I think they just in practice balancing it, they've just had to go completely off piste because a lot of the numbers make no sense at all. That is the wrong way around, isn't it? Oh dear. Which means that's the wrong way around. Okay. The reason those regulars exploded together is because they lose health over time. Oh, right. Since they all spawn simultaneously, they die simultaneously to their own slow health draw. Really? Oh, that's interesting. I wonder, is that not the one? I mean, the ones that it spawns, they just wander around, don't they? So those must be when it popped. When I popped the egg raft. Those ones must have a lifetime on them. Either that or it keeps respawning them, because these seem to have, you know, the pentapods, the big ones, the zombies, just wandering around forever. So it must be when you pop an egg raft, it gives them a lifespan. I know when they hatch out of eggs, they have a lifetime. Because it's meant to give you a little bit of a chance, in the sense that if you've not defended your base and what have you, eventually they die, basically, so that there's a chance they won't destroy your entire... Because obviously it's undefended. A single wriggler will just eventually obliterate your base, sort of thing. So they have a lifetime for that reason. So it must be the same thing. And I guess the point there is, again, if you just popped one and then you can't defend it, you don't want it to be there just completely wiping out everything all the time. I don't think they attack bots, do they? But they might do. That's something I've not really checked on. My main critique of Gleba is it's so hard to differentiate the terrain. What's land, what's water, what's deep water. The fruit trees don't stand out as much as they need to. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. What I haven't tried is, because you can turn decoratives off, and I don't know how much of this is classified as decoratives. I bet this place would look awful without decoratives. But it's basically like, you know, on Nalvis, all of these tufty grassy bits, that's all decoratives. When you take it off, it becomes this plain... I used to play like that for a long time because I always found it really frustrating that you can't see the edges of patches because it'll have some tufts of grass. And it's like, I just found that really annoying. But I don't know, it's just sufficiently sort of, dull without them that I kind of play with them on now, but I still find it quite annoying. But yeah, so I don't know how Gleba looks without decoratives. I imagine absolutely awful, but probably a bit more readable. So yes, we want sort of one in here. Part of that was messing about was to hopefully, yeah, this is now doing a round trip. And it will bring us, wow, that's a lot of iron bits. Why have you got that on there? What have I messed up there? Not messed up, we just happen to have a lot of iron asteroids, I guess. Once. Yeah. Okay. I bet oh no, I haven't done any of those researches. But, yeah, so hopefully that'll do a round trip and it'll start bringing in uranium ammo, because that's what we're kind of short at that, really. Let's get rid of these guys. And I'm still on the edge there, aren't we? We're living on the edge. So if we pop in there, maybe? Where are the edges on that? So if that's going to there. If they made the fruits really bright neon, they might stand out, or if they glowed slightly. Glowing would be pretty cool. Deep water really needs to be darker, yeah. That's very difficult to tell what's going on with the water. You know, you have to be properly in a big patch of water to tell where it's deep. Defender captures have surprised me this expansion. Nice against the marshes and great against pentapod clearing. They've always been pretty awesome. Hello Elemento, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. They've always been pretty awesome capsules. My problem with them always, and it still is, to be honest with you, is like the cost of them, basically. They're just very, very expensive as to make. They've always been really effective, and it's something that you then just literally throw away, so it's like, it's an awfully expensive thing to be just going, right, well, I'm just going to, lob it out and take care of it. Particularly, I think when you get to the stage of, if you're going out and doing a load of clearance, as it were. And you're just throwing them out and, you know, kind of driving around trying to clear biter nests and what have you. So do I... Because we'll have to go... We'll go and put one in down there first. But I think I might want a third one there just to keep it clear. So that they don't, you know, come too close to this. But we'll probably just have one artillery one. But yeah, it's you know, they've always been pretty powerful. It's like landmines, as I say. I always used to put one. Always thought they were, you know, really effective and stuff. But setting the logistics up on them was always a pain in the backside. You know, taking them out with your trains and all that sort of stuff to your walls. And it was just got a bit tedious. Don't know why I got any piercing ammo. Why have I got that at all? I say I really need to sort these out. Okay. So, I guess if we put the actual artillery over there, maybe somewhere? Did I say hello there? I think I did. Hope you're doing okay. Oh, can you not? Oh, I guess you need the proper... do you really? Yeah. Okay. But I mean, there's, you know, the other thing on defences in particular is something I really enjoy doing. There's quite a few, you know, streams and stuff for me of just designing walls and stuff because it's something I just have a lot of fun with, really. Which way around? But it's a like maybe it should be that direction. So there. So you just can't build anywhere on without needing to put blooming landfill on. Move that up, I think. Look at that. Gleba, it should be called. It should just be called landfill. Okay, so we'll probably get a response to something because this is slightly further down. Yeah, I think I need. I want to put like artillery there. I think, which is roughly where it was. I think, wasn't it? Maybe there or something. Just to keep this area, because these are actually quite close to where we're properly building. There we go. It would be useful as well to see, does the artillery... Look at that. Oh, was that it? One shot? Oh no. Oh yeah, it just pops the egg. Oh, and killed off the... So these aren't very tough then, are they? So they do respawn, but not properly, you see. Well, you know, I guess maybe they're associated with that raft then? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. You come in. Let's be having you. See, if in doubt, landmines. Yeah, their health is just 0, isn't it, when they're arriving? Maybe that needs a little buff, because that seems like... I mean, I've not done that many artillery ranges. It's like, I've done 3, I think, or 2. Because it feels like if, you know, you could extend that artillery range to the degree that they arrive and they're just instantly dead. You can look up strafers. No problem. Cool. So, where do we want to put some extra charity bits in case we get attacks coming in? I guess we want to put one down here. Maybe here-ish. Put you in there. And then at least one on this side. Will that do? Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's put the... Let's try it facing out. Oh, what have we picked up there? Oh, bacteria. Run out of landmines. I'm guessing I need to connect it. Maybe if we sort of have one cheekily in there, so it's well protected. Question then is, do I want another one or two? The most sensible to have one up there, because this is where actually, yeah, we're building on the top end at the moment. So probably need two more, I think. That's quite expensive. It's too close. Too close, too close. How about... Yeah, maybe? Yeah, let's move it down a bit. Is this the... What is that? Yeah, that's the actual wetland stuff, isn't it? So, I think actually... Well, could I use that one? I could use that one, I think. Let us see if we can pop that on. Yeah, seems okay with that. And more robot ports. Let's move that in a bit. Is there one up here? Yeah, better. But let's make it more over here if we can. So this is really about just responding if it starts blowing things up in that direction. I don't want them running across my actual thing first before actually getting to the artillery, because I don't really know what they'll do. So I'll leave that bit open because, so I think I'm going to need to put one in there, but I think I'm going to have to do that later when it's done a trip or two to restock things. Because we don't actually have any ammo. So. Hopefully the camera's still going. Yeah, there we go. I'm just checking everything's still live. Yep, I think we're okay. Because it's such a random problem that it has, I don't really know how to test it other than to, you know, to put it on and see what happens. Because literally, you know, it happens once or maybe twice per stream. So that's in a 3-hour period. Cool, okay. So I'm happy with that for now. So I will have to, I'm going to put a tag on just to remind me. I want to put another one sort of here maybe somewhere. Or maybe moving tags as well on the map. Is that Alt, isn't it? No. Which one is it? There we go, Shift. Actually, probably want it maybe there somewhere. Moving tags on the map. Such luxuries we have nowadays. In my day... why have I got all of that? I guess that was for when it was building the things. But do I need any of that combat stuff now? Not really. Let's let them use that to fill up everything else and build it out. How much room have you got? Cool. What we don't have, I should have done, and I completely forgot to do yesterday, is like a proper storage area. Where might we put that? That's too big. So if we put... Oh, there's a boom pub something. How very annoying of you. They're not actually all that damaging. Just a bit annoying. Much like Gleba in general, really. Cool. So let's get this on. Okay, and then we can. Don't my bot's doing it, but we can deconstructorize all these storages. Cool. Still ain't got. I mean, we've got one rocket silo. Haven't built any others. Have to think about that. Maybe. What have I got on Factorio? I've got 2, have I? So how about we copy paste that? Where's the? There it is. I'm assuming all my science is running and stuff. I haven't sort of been checking on any of the other planets while I've been messing about on Nauvis. So where can we put this? Where's this going to fit? If we put it in sort of there. Oh no, that's where I was going to build the eggs, wasn't it? Maybe put it top-wise there. Oh, it's got a blooming lightning collector on it. There we go. And then what about this? Does this have any kind of connection on it at all? It doesn't. And it's not got even like a tiny bit of a rocket on it. Okay. I haven't set any production up, have I? For, you know, low density structures or anything. I think part of me was going into the... I watched Dosh's video last night. It basically seemed to have the same plan as him, basically. It's of just importing everything together. Rather than actually sort of building here. Do I want to tidy all this up? I think I do. Because we do need a bit of a check on the old nuclear situation. Just to make sure that's not running out or anything. Oh, I've disconnected something, haven't I? It's hardly surprising. There we go. That one there. That one there. Okay. That's not connected. Okay. So these are my tiny little iron bits and pieces. And then I never requested in... Oh, I want to request it in. We need a Tesla turret here. But what I'm thinking is maybe I just put on. I've got some big lining drills. Surely we've got something there. Put that say. Then. Very gloopy, aren't they, the bioreactors? Oops. Oh, good old bots. You're back again, I see. Sunday seems to be the favourite day for bots. My channel. Okay. That's not too loud, is it? Game sound is quite loud, isn't it? That was me fiddling about with it. Earlier on. If we take that down to 50 again. And then I can just adjust my volume. Okay. Cool. Okay. So yes. So we want a few more. I want to pop a few more of these back in. But we can kind of use this space. Just get rid of the boom guys. Missed the boom guys. Okay. Now that was a blueprint, wasn't it? No? There we are. And okay. Connect that up. There's hello, what's Kaka? What's the bots on about? You mean, what am I talking about bots? So over on, I simultaneously stream to both Twitch and YouTube using Restream. Basically, what happens on, if you've never used Twitch, people put bots, so automated accounts basically, that they basically post in your chat saying, do you want to buy viewers? Because what some people do, I guess, I've always sort of assumed that it was more I mean, it's a scam anyway, but I've assumed that the scam that they're running is that people do click on the links that they do, because I have the links auto blocked basically, so you know, it's all a bit sort of a non-thing, really. But my assumption has always been that the scam they're doing is that if you click the links, it'll basically you know, you'll get a virus or, you know, compromise your Twitch account or something like that, and that's really what the scam that they're running is, rather than actually selling. How many of those have we got? And can I find them? Rather than actually selling viewers as such. I'm sure there probably are some that do that, but yeah, so that's what I'm talking about when I say bots, basically. So, got 200 of them. Okay, nice. Let's get them pressed into service then. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about with bots, basically. Is to they basically go on your Twitch channel, chat, and offer to sell you viewers so that you could, in theory, increase your popularity, because the way Twitch works with its algorithm, its version of the YouTube algorithm, is that it's like a... why have you put all that in there? I don't know. A system where the people with the most viewers get, you know, it's like it's like a self building system. So it's effectively, if I've got more viewers than somebody else, then I'll get higher up in the recommendation, and therefore more people watch, and you know, it sort of builds on itself. Is the kind of thing how their system works. So that's why people would want to buy viewers, basically. Cool. So what I might have, I might actually have. Let's use one of these then. Enough stuff to make a second silo? I don't know. So I remember dropping a load of stuff down. Oh, why is that not gone to silo? Don't appear to have any logistics chests, which is a bit strange. I wonder if... Why are you around now, Viz? What are you doing? Oh, there's none requested there either. Oh, it's waiting on a rocket launcher. Interesting. Interesting. Actually, 200 of them. Requesting from Nalvis ×2. Huh. What does that mean? Maybe that just means 2 rockets? I've not seen that notification before. Well, that tooltip saying that. Interesting. Yeah, this Sweet Ride is an absolute mess, isn't it? Of just random stuff. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling very... I don't know. I think maybe actually if I get rid of that and it would just build the one. If I do say... Yeah, we'll see what that does. I don't mind if it builds multiple, but... what I was also going to do... So I don't really have any intermediates on the go. Okay, so I think we are going to have to set up a little production area, I think, of basic resources. So, did I ever do... In fact, didn't I have green circuits and stuff? I did. So down here, let's build it down here then. I really just like that there's drag in space. It doesn't make intuitive sense, but more importantly, it means that thin ships are just better. It is a... I don't get it at all. It took me ages to even realise there was drag in space. I'd sort of assumed that, you know, when your engine's cut and it slows down, that was just like a game mechanic, is it? You know, just oh, there's no thrust, so slow it down. You know, because I don't know. It feels like a lot of... They've had to do a lot of kludging, basically, a lot of sort of get it to work type stuff with the whole platforms, because there are some things that are like weird with it, just fundamentally. Do I want to use foundries? You know, that just sort of don't make sense. Can't I do normal? You have to do it in molten stuff, do you? Why can't I? No, you do, don't you? I'm not sure I can be bothered to set up molten metal processing. Yeah, I'll have to just not do that. Yeah, it feels to me like they've had to do a lot of, you know, forcing the system to work type stuff with platforms altogether. Because I think they wanted, it's like how they've got oh, I can't do it, which is very weird. Why can't you connect them to the logistics network? But there you go. Have I got any iron in stock at all? No, I haven't. Okay. So I'm going to have to set up some biolabs and process. I didn't want to do any of that. So I could just bring it in, I guess, but... okay. So, just network. It's got 700 still, so that's fine. And that I did set to that went all along. I guess maybe we could stick in problem speed, maybe? Yeah. Let's just put 4 of them. Actually, move it down. Boop. Turn that onto copper. To copper plate. Oops, and that to copper plate. Ah, there's no copper plate at all. Yes, that's because I've been turning it all into circuits. But yeah, I mean, the whole drag thing, I think, is like a, you know, sort of a workaround for not wanting to do retro thrusters, or because you could get all Kerbal Space Program with it, you know, and you could go full on, you know, over the top. I think we'll just do maybe a couple of steel ones as well. I'll set that on quite a low number, I think. You know, and I say they could have gone all that way, and I'm sort of glad they didn't, because it would get really complicated. I think one of the things they've obviously had to do is really work on the game balance. You know, the sort of how complex is each planet. Really, as it were. What's the good place to be? Because SpaceX is really complicated. Why did I leave a gap between them? Okay, so we've got the things to make some basic iron, copper, and steel. Did I do circuit? Did I do wires? I did wires with that one. Okay, obviously it doesn't have copper. We've got plastic. We've got fire thingy. I didn't say hello, by the way, Oscar. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing okay. I just imagine it being 2 gravity wells stationary in space. Since you run out of fuel, you'll slowly fall back to whichever planet is closest, I think. Yeah, apparently, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it, actually. I think, yeah, that's not too bad. Because the planets are, like, ridiculously close as well. So, yeah, you're in the gravity well, and you're experiencing pull. I mean, it doesn't work because, of course, it's, you know, 3-dimensional space, but yeah, you're sort of experiencing a gravity pull from the planet behind you. Obviously, if you're closer, then you would actually accelerate towards it, sort of thing. But yeah, as a sort of a quick workaround, simple solution, that makes a lot of sense, I think. Or that's not a bad idea, type of thing. But yeah, it's all a bit sort of. So the planets aren't orbiting exactly. I mean, there's no orbital dynamics at all in the whole thing. It's all a bit sort of, you know, completely static planets that stay exactly the same distance apart. I have a giant long ship I lovingly call the Popsicle. It has 20 cargo bays but only 8 forward-facing turrets and 4 collectors. It works ridiculously well, going 300 kilometers a second, and has giant inventory. Yeah. So I'm not... It kind of... I think there's a bit of an element on that one of... do you drive to efficiency, or do you just build something that you want to build, sort of thing? So, the fact that it has drag on and it's width based and all that sort of stuff, it's like, okay, well, does it matter? The distances are so short and the travel times are so short. It only really matters, I guess, when you're going out to Solar System Edge and Shattered Planet, and then it's like, okay, so just one platform that kind of does that, it's fine, and then you can just build whatever you want everywhere else, maybe. I don't know. It's all a bit sort of... I don't know, I would rather it had a maximum, drag, so that, alright, a wider platform is slower maybe, for reasons, but it doesn't increase proportionally, it just stops, it just hits a maximum, and then that's it. You can have it as wide as you want after that, and it doesn't increase the drag. And so the more, more thrusters you put on it, the faster and faster it would go. But it is what it is, I suppose. Also, props to the dev. Yesterday I said, I'm going to increase my efficiency module 2 buffer from 400 to 800. I cannot imagine saying that in 1.1. That's a lot of, that's a lot of buffering. I really made efficiency and space constraints work, yeah. So I think it's, I think it's wonderfully done. I don't think there's any, anything I would kind of complain about in the whole thing. Oh my word, look at all that. This is why I forgot. I need the trash unrequested, don't I? On a lot of these that I never put on. There you go. Well, that is requesting in... Yeah. That's a bit conceptually weird, isn't it? It's a bit sort of... Yeah. Just because it's going to get more and more spoilage in it, basically. And there's no way of emptying that one, is there? Interesting. They're fine. Trash requested on. Same there. Cool. And what about you? Did you have it on? You have. Insert view. Don't need it for that one. Okay, so the bit we're not done that I got to do is the whole bacteria processing. I was meant to be doing the pink, greens. I guess I could just work on the green science. So, how was I actually going to do this? Because you need pentapod eggs coming in, and you don't have any way of bringing them in. Because I'm outputting them. That's because of power and stop inflation. They've done it again, look. This should be green science, guys. It's not coming artillery. So, you need bioflux and pentapod eggs. So this needs to be requesting in bioflux and pentapod eggs. I'll put that on 0. Let's put that on 0 as well. Okay, so that will get rid of the spoiled ones. Except that it won't, will it? Because if it spoils there, then it will just try and kill us. But it also needs nutrient. Okay. Nutrients there. Again, it's around 0. So that would then give it bioflux. That'll just output. So if I do this one as a... Can't remember what I did it on the others. I think it was 2000, wasn't it? That's probably stupid for Gleba. There's no real point having gigantic. It's better if it's flying up to the... Or is it? Let's just do it. I don't really care about wasted stuff. I just want to make sure. Does buffer chest my solution here? Because I'm assuming I might well be wrong. Oh, I forgot about you. What was I going to get you to do? Drop them, and it looks like you've done that. Cool, well done. Have a medal. Do. Yeah, so that'll have them in there. What was I thinking about? I don't know. So, if this ends up with pentapod eggs in it, how am I going to cope with it? Other than shoot them. I guess the idea would be... Because maybe if I wire this up and say... if I do a read contents... Include fuel, interesting. Except that I don't want to do that, do I? Because that's everything. So if this then, if we have an actual one there that is the other stuff instead. So if this is the... Oh, cracking. What was that? Hello Gaming Steve, thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Hope you're having a good day. So that would be the bioflux, and then this would be the nutrient instead. And we can do terrestrial requested, but we'll set them as 0 so we don't just waste them pointlessly. And then just the pentapods eggs here. So this is a pentapod egg loop. And it'll only... so reading the contents. Why are we reading the contents? We only want to put eggs in. We don't need to read the contents, do we? We only want to put eggs in if there is no green signs. Or the green science is lower than our expected storage. So we'll only put them in, and I think we'll put the hand side on 1, if we can do that. Yeah. So this then will only put eggs in if there is no science, because then it will get turned into science, in the assumption I keep the bioflux flowing. If it doesn't, we'll just have a Tesla turret kicking about to sort out all of our problems, basically. If in doubt, shoot it with electricity. So, that then gets us a loop there. But we need to actually be growing the pentapod eggs. Now, would you have a... So put that on 1 just as a backup in a sense. Because we've got the other one that's chugging away, making the pentapod eggs, doing the business. So we only want to output here. This one is the one we connect with the circuit network. And we want to read contents, and we want to say, turn it on if there are less than 2, maybe, pentapod eggs. I don't know why I didn't say that first. Camera's still working, okay. There we go. Because then it'll put those in. Because we set that request to 1 so that the bots will just make sure there's 1 in there. But what we actually want is for this to make sure that there's 2 in there. So then this one also needs to be turned on. And this one gets turned on if we, again, all of these want... This feels like working on Covrex. You know, Covrex enrichment. Same sort of idea. Did I put the stack size to 1 there? I did not. So we only want you to put an egg in if there are no eggs. Is that what that says? Yeah, less than 2. put them in. So it'll make sure it'll try and make sure there's 2 in. And then this one we say, if there are, we turn it on, if there are more than 1. I think I probably need more of a buffer than that, don't I? So if we do 3 and 2. So in other words, this one is always going to put 1 in. If it's got 1 in here, it's going to put it in and try and make 3. But then this one is going to be robbing it out and saying, right, no, I want you to be low. So we'll end up with 2 as the number in there, which gives that the opportunity to pick 1 up. Did I put a stack? I did, so I've overloaded the stack on that one. But it'll only grab them if it needs green circuits. And because we're doing it as a continuous process, it'll hopefully stay fresh. Maybe. Cool. Now, the next part of it then, I mean this obviously needs to just be eggs now. But can I make it a buffer chest? That was what I was trying to work out, wasn't it? So if I turn this into a buffer, it has trash unrequested. Excellent. Okay, so that'll get rid of any... Oh, I don't really need to bother with it, do I, though? Because that's just eggs now. And if eggs hatch, we've got electricity. Okay, so it does want a filter on it, then. Because the bots will just fill the chest up with rubbish. Okay. Now that one we just leave to do its business, don't we? And again, we probably want... Oops. To override the stack size. But if it wants eggs, it should grab eggs. So that's 2. So what we could end up with is a backup in here, basically. Yeah, and that's where this one... Look, I've done it again. That's where this one comes in. Why have I got the storage on... Why have I got... I don't need one there, do I? That's where this one comes in. Because this one says... What does that one say? That one says... Because we want there to be at least 1 in there, so we don't want to take it out. So maybe if this gets to 5 or something... Somehow. I think, yeah. So if that one is checking that chest and saying, right, if there are more than... So it's very covert, actually. Certainly what I'm doing is, if that's getting more than... If there are more than 5 in there, is that too high? Because they could be sat there quite a while. Maybe if we do it... Maybe if it's 2? So if we end up with 3 in there... Because having low numbers as well, even when it turns out I've completely messed it up and we've ended up filling up everything with pentapod eggs that explode, if that's just 2 eggs, you know, it's not going to be much of a problem. And then that's an active provider. So this one just throws away our excess eggs. Oh, now what else do you need? You need nutrients. Well, that's not very convenient of you, is it? We need water and nutrients. Okay. So, if we make that a regular part like that, and then we put... nutrients on request there. I could probably make that on a buffer with nutrients and stuff, couldn't I? But, yeah, whatever. Where are nutrients again? There. So we trash unrequested. I don't want to do it for yet. And the power doesn't reach. Okay, but then we're going to have this sort of spare one. I guess I could flip it round, couldn't I? You know, do one on either side so they're both feeding into that. Now, do we want modules and stuff in this? We definitely do in here. Have I seen PVKK, the game where you're the gunner on an orbital of an orbital defense cannon, not out yet, I should add. I have seen the trailers for it. Yeah, it does look really interesting. The devs mentioned, I might be getting this completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure, didn't they say that it's like Papers, Please? Papers, Please, you know, so, I say I may have completely confused it with something else, but that was a really weird, like, comparison. But yeah, I did see that. It looked really, really interesting, basically. Sort of, yeah, kind of defense them up, I suppose. So let's put that in there. It's one thing I've not really been playing a lot of Factorio, and a big part of that is because I think this is what I was saying about. I don't know that I'm burnt out. That's like a really dramatic way of putting it, but I did kind of reach the point where it's like I've got to play something else. You know, I've got to play some other games because I'm just getting a bit sort of bored. Bored is the wrong way. I'd say I don't know what phrase to use. It's not burnt out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be streaming it, you know. But it was just sort of like I've got to do something else. I've got to play something else. And that's why I've been playing. Whatchamacallit, I Am Future, basically, because it was really chill and really simple mechanics and, you know, good fun, as it were. Yeah, it all got a bit sort of, because you have to remember, like, you know, obviously, during the LAN event, or straight afterwards in particular, I was blitzing. I was, you know, like back to first discovered the game type territory. Cool. So what we don't have, I mean, I'm going to copy this up again, I think. In fact, no, let's just leave it for now, because I need to set the actual limits. But we don't have any, you know, anything set up for this to basically take, the science to be taken back to Nowvis, you know. So we need to kind of add that on. I think probably better to do that from Nowvis. But yeah, it looked really interesting, that nice concept and idea. There's no orange science packs. Okay, that's interesting. Do we want to investigate why? Is that a power collapse thing again? Doesn't look like it, does it? No, so it doesn't look like it's power collapse. Have we hit some kind of... Oh, there's loads in there. In fact, we've got those in both of them. So it looks like Volcanus itself is okay. Is it SS Demolisher? What are you doing? You are waiting on all requests satisfied. Why are you doing that? Available on planet. Satisfaction 0 of 1,000. On the way 0. Even though you are at Volcanus. Okay. Puzzle intensifies. We've got no rocket fuel. Okay. No rocket fuel at all. Oh. What has happened here? Ah, we have petroleum backup. Ah. Am I not converting petroleum into... What are those actually doing? They're doing light oil into petroleum. Why? Because I don't think I've got any use of petroleum, have I? Because they're also doing light oil into petroleum, aren't they? Yeah, why? Petroleum is all backed up there. Because we're not using plastic in any way. Okay. So all we need to do is add in a solid... More of this, basically. In fact... Oh, I see. What? Ah. That won't be... Because it's on the right-hand side of the belt. Yeah. Okay. So we need something to put it on both sides of the belt. See, this is what, you know, one of the big things I love about Factorio. It's like, this is like programming this. It's like tracing back the root cause, basically. What's gone wrong here? Okay, it's that. So why has that happened? Okay, it's that. So why has that happened? Because of that. It's something called root cause analysis, if you've ever encountered that in the business world. It's the same sort of thing. We might say, right, okay, I need to fix that. Okay, I need to do that. Okay, I need to do that. And it'll just sort of chains back. You find the proper root cause. Of course, you're not necessarily always right. And also, look, that's not even connected. Because it's meant to be a blue belt. That's the length of a blue underground. Not a red underground. Because the blueprint will have been a blue underground. And I've down converted it, I think. And there we go. So solid fuel is solid fueling. I suppose. I mean, what are you actually? Where are you pushing this petroleum gas? Oh, with a tiny amount of plastic. Even though I've got some storage chests for reasons. Okay. Rocket fuel is a flowing. Cool. Yeah, there's a story and stuff to it. Don't know if I like that part, but I kind of want the next big factory game to lean into some immersive sim stuff. That'd be quite interesting, yeah. I do think there's a big... I don't know, the trouble with it is that thing of... I was setting up the platform and stuff, wasn't I? And discovering problems. Of like, I don't know how to phrase it, it's like... Oh, so we got the Gleba orders there, so I guess I just need to add this in, really. Let's just do a big number, and when we end up with tons of spoiled stuff, we'll be fine with that. I upgraded the space platform as well. That's a point. Has it got... There you go. Got all green stuff on and, you know, level 2 modules and stuff. Kind of a big fan of quality. Not that I'm really using it properly, but I like it. Okay, so that's set there. I wonder what that extra one there was meant to be. There'll be something that I was thinking we need to bring in. I guess it probably was rocket turrets or something. Yeah, it'll be rocket turrets, won't it? Or something like that. Cool. So that is set up. What all we need to do then is go here and kind of add it on. Oops, clever bits. Oh no, wrong one. Clever orders, there we go. There we go. Where are you? You're at Nauvis. What are you waiting on? You're, I bet that's set to... No, that is set to import from Nauvis. Okay. Are there none? Not enough to fill one rocket, because there are none. That'll be because Volcanus is the Demolisher, which is meant to be bringing the calcite, has not been bringing the calcite. So when that arrives, the other one will be okay, I think. But what we need to make sure, I think, is that our actual green recipes are on the front. But yeah, so 5 legs will stay here until we actually start producing the green sciences. Now, are we brave? Do we want to kick that off and see what happens? Because I need to set up the bacteria processing as well, because we just have no intermediates at all, which means we have no circuits, which means we can't build these, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I was saying, there's sort of a bit of a gap, it feels like, in a sense, of factory games that like have a purpose, in a sense. And it's one of the things, it's like something I'm interested in, and, you know, I like that Satisfactory has a story. As I've heard it's not the greatest, as it were, but and then, you know, one of the things I liked about Tectonic was that it was going to have a story. But yeah, it's not necessarily story. It's like the manufacturing to do stuff, because there are a few games like that where it's like Workers and Resources, I think it's called, something like that. The one that's like got a slightly odd communism theme to it, but it feels like, say, almost like, taking it back to, so Minecraft is about, building mines, as it were, and that's where a lot of the things came from, those mods, and it's like, feels like that would be like the next step of like, you do it in an RPG setting, and it's about making swords for adventurers or something. Do you know what I mean? It sort of feels like that's almost the next step. There are, I said, no games like that. Hydroneer, I think, is similar to that, but they didn't quite take off. And I say, it feels like maybe there's a disconnect between, I think, a lot of players who play Factorio in particular, they are just interested in the whole number goes up, basically. They just want to make more science, more iron, more steel. Hello, Grey Hill. How are you doing? Welcome. Would you talk more about the similarities and differences between Tectonica and Factorio? I was just looking at Tectonica on sale. So, Tectonica is a lot closer to. Welcome to the stream. If I didn't say that, Tectonica is a lot more closer to Satisfactory in its style. So it's a first person, and it is building things in the world. It's a a 3D world. I think it's very pretty. Because there's a lot of stuff in it that glows. There's a lot of light type stuff that they do, and it's not quite true now because they added different ones on. But most of the biomes, most of the areas were in caves, so it was like glowing, plants were one of your light sources in caves. I mean, you can obviously build lights and stuff, and the scale of it was, and it had some very interesting ideas in my opinion. As I say, there is story in it. And it is a bit more focused on that. You don't really have to engage with it as such. You can just let the story happen because it's just like characters talking to you type stuff. You're not doing RPG things or what have you. They're just telling you the story, so you can literally just skip them and just crack on. So you don't need to really engage with the story as such. But obviously it gates progress to things. But unfortunately with Tectonica, so. Basically, the devs ran out of money. They kind of, it feels wrong to say admit, but I don't think it was ever really that popular. And I don't know that they did a good job with their, what do you call it? Because it's on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, you can get it for free and try it out, sort of thing. But I don't know that they made the best use of that, really, is the honest truth. But basically, they ran out of money, essentially. Because it wasn't as popular, as they'd hoped, sort of thing, and so they had to massively truncate their roadmap. They had a sort of a pretty clear list of what they wanted to put in it and the plans and all that sort of stuff, and so they had to kind of shortcut it. The sort of good news to it is that it is a complete game. I haven't played the 1.0 release. What I have done is been reading all the Reddit comments and stuff like that. And the honest truth of it is that they've made it really grindy and a bit frustratingly so. And there's a lot of veteran players, people have played the game a lot, and that they almost did the opposite of Satisfactory. Satisfactory put in a great big target during their early access period. They had a massive target of the resource amount of stuff you had to produce, so that people who got to that point in the game, the end game, were like, well, now I can just spend days and days and days making these huge amounts of stuff, and I believe they then stepped it back for the actual release. They kind of did the opposite in Tectonica, but in a way that means you can't outproduce it. So I won't say because it's part of the plot, but there's a mechanic in it where resolving the situation isn't really so much about just making more stuff as kind of just waiting. Because what they did, basically, originally it was just one gigantic biome, it's just one gigantic map. There was always an elevator, and they were all, that was part of the initial early access thing. And you're always going to go to different levels. But because they ran out of money, they couldn't really optimize the game. That was sort of a bit too far, a stretch too far, as it were. And so instead of optimizing it properly, they took all the big level and split it up into bits. So it's a bit like this, where it's currently simulating Alvis and Volcanus and what have you, but because it can just do it as numbers in the background, it's actually more performant, or hopefully more performant. And so effectively that's what they did. They basically said, right, well, we'll split it up into a whole series of small levels. So the other complaint that people are having is basically, it's instead of me going and exploring a gigantic map, it's just, a whole series of very small maps, and that's not what people signed up for, in a sense. So yeah, I'm kind of flagging the problematic things, shall we say, because, as I say, you kind of need to be aware of, it gets to a point where it's really like grindy, it's really a lot of work, in a sense. I didn't put this down, did I? No, I did not. You going to build that for me? And you've not got modules, apparently. Okay. So where it's getting those from, I guess they're, because that's what I need to build, basically, or I need to ship in. So I guess this just stopped because it ran out of concrete. That's good. Cool. Yeah, so just sort of flagging up the, the things people have been complaining about. So if you don't mind grind, you don't mind, essentially having to wait for it to happen, for things to happen, it's not necessarily a problem, but it is not going to get any more updates. So if you're sort of playing it and you're like frustrated or what have you, the devs ran out of money, there's going to be no more development, basically. So yeah, that's the kind of warning on it. In terms of difference to Factorio, it is still smaller scale or it doesn't let you go as big as Factorio or something. But there's a lot of it that's the same. One of the things I'm saying, so it has some really nice ideas, in my opinion. And one of them is that, or interesting ideas, I think, which one of which is that, so what you make in the game is, in terms of for your science, is, I think they call them cubes, but they're actually like football-shaped things, and they're big. They're like as big, almost as big as the player type of thing. And what you do is you basically stack them up in these, I don't know what you call it, like storage things, and you literally, fill this up. And what it actually does, now they may have removed this mechanic, but what it does is if you have excess of the cubes, so you stack them up in these things, and there are different levels to them. There's like blue ones, green ones, and all sorts of stuff. And as you stack them up, you can go into the tech tree and unlock things with them. But if you don't do that, the more you've got stacked up, the faster all of your machines work. So they act like a gigantic speed module that's universally applied. So in other words, instead of putting down individual speed modules or what have you, you just have this mechanic where if you just build like 1 million, you couldn't build 1 million because you couldn't, fit them in, sort of thing. But if you build loads and loads of these cubes, all your machines run faster. And of course, you get to a point where you're like, well, should I unlock this or should I use the speed buff advantage, sort of thing? So that's quite interesting. And also, it allows you to go backwards. So you can basically unlock a technology, and because it's this cube-based thing, you can go, actually, I don't want that, and turn it and take it back off again, and so you get all the cubes back, and there's no wastage or what have you. So I say, I had lots of really interesting ideas, I think. So a proper sort of story. It was fun exploring the different caves, and what they've got is they've got effectively like loot boxes, but not, not in the sense of you pay loot boxes, but actual little boxes that are buried in the actual terrain, because the whole map is basically voxel based, and you get a thing called a mole, and you can dig all of the terrain out. So it's like, this all you can do is lay down terrain and like destroy cliffs. Satisfactory, you can't do any of that at all, but Tectonica you could, so you can actually dig out the caves. Now I say, because they've gone to these smaller maps with an elevator, it's like there's only a limited amount of that. But what I did, when I played it, is I had a load of smelters basically processing the ore, I dug out a great big cave and put them all in this cave basically. I mean, there's nothing like pollution. There's no enemies in it. Well, there weren't anyway. I don't know on the fire one. So yeah, it's sort of. I thought it had some really cool and interesting ideas, but it never really quite took off, I guess. So the devs, as I say, have kind of had to abandon development of it. Thank you, thanks for the tip about Game Pass. Good to know. No, I definitely do not like grind. Being so happy that Space Age for me anyway has basically eliminated anything that feels like grind. Yeah, so I mean, it does. It's sort of the problem with it is, I would say, more that they've made the early game grindier. So you have to do. Partly what they tried to do is like push you to do more technologies and also build more of these cubes to speed the things up. I think. But I don't know that for sure because I haven't played. I want to give it another go. It's one of the games I want to pick up after I've done this and find out for myself what I think of it. But basically, yeah, the sort of solution they came up with was, make the early game like slower so you get less resources, and that then pushes you to do machine upgrading and all that sort of stuff. And I don't think they've got balance quite right because there are a lot of people just complaining, oh, it's really slow now and blah, 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 blah. But you have to remember that's comparing it to, the original version. So if you come in completely fresh, you're not going to have that. It's slower than before. But whether it's fundamentally slower and therefore a bit frustrating, I don't know that you can tell. I can't be advised on that sort of thing. Yeah, so they made the early game a bit slower basically, but then also this thing I was talking about is like really late game, so you basically play a massive amount of it. It's a bit like why they removed the enemies from Aquila. It's the same sort of reasoning, I think, where it's like, okay, so there's no enemy on Aquila because it was just really frustrating to get to Aquila having done 100 hours of playing or what have you, and suddenly there's this enemy stealing all your stuff. And it's just like too much. And so what they've done is they've introduced a too much. Now what would ideally have happened is obviously it would be in early access still, and they could take on board all that feedback and rebalance it basically. But they can't. So what you can do, you can't do it with a Game Pass version, I guess, but you can do mods. And there are mods that do rebalance it. So if you did want to, I'm not sure if you can do that on Game Pass or not. Maybe, but have we made green science spots? We have, look. Okay. We've not got the number we want, but what I could do, where are you even? And what are you waiting on? It's still waiting on those artillery shells. Okay, let's not have that request anymore then. So off you pop here. We will also, I think, set this way, way, way down instead to like 200 or something. So we'll get it moving back and forth. What do they actually stack to? Don't they stack to like 1,000 anyway? Yeah. So we could maybe do custom payload. Let's see what happens there. The other thing, I'm not actually sure I've got enough of them in to satisfy it. So yeah, I say I've caveated that with a lot of warnings. Yeah, there's only 10. And then what about them? 26. But then I set something here low, didn't I, so that it wouldn't... Didn't I? Or was it this? Camera's still going. No, it wasn't that one. I thought I set something based on... Because why are you not running? You haven't got pentacle eggs. Maybe if I put that a bit lower. Oh, it's taken them up there, isn't it? I needed to set something here. Yeah, to deactivate this unless there's loads of them. If it did that, okay. Oh yeah, I can't connect them to the logistics network, can I? Forgot about that. But then we've got read content. Anyway, so we can enable disable this if we have, say, 50. It's probably way too low. I wonder what happens when they burst out. I mean, I guess they put them on the land, but if you put that chest on a deep water, will it just drown them? So yeah, I've been sort of listing out the problems, but say I did enjoy it quite a lot when I played it. I can't comment on the 1.0 version. And I say, do check out what you can do in modding. I say, I don't think you can mod games on Game Pass. Cool, so got 25, 15 total, so we're not getting the eggs. Is that due to some problem here? I think it's just a lack of eggs, basically, isn't it? Well, they use quite a lot of nutrient, don't they? Maybe I should boost that up too. Oh, I've got basically no nutrient. Okay. That's interesting. Why is that? Because I've not got very much spoilage. Okay. That's interesting. 500 mash, so we can make... have I got a lot of that? I thought this was meant to be making... Oh! I've not been setting limits on them properly. Yeah, look at that. Well, it wouldn't have mattered because the fish is 0, so... the fish is 0. Bioflux. What are you waiting on? Oh, that needs to be higher because I think there's 100 requested in the thing here, isn't there? The bioflux lasts for ages. So maybe if we... Right. I need to work out with doing a multiplication thing on them because the requests are just all too low. So do I want to maybe speed it up as well? But yeah, we can have another arrangement like that. Does that just use, yeah, jelly and mash? Okay, so we can have another couple of them. No worries. Put it there. And then if we do a couple more of them. It's awfully gloopy, isn't it? Foxhole has a great thing where people manufacture guns, so for the people fighting. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah, is Foxhole the one where it's like it's basically like an MMO? I know there's a war one where it's like it's almost like an MMORPG where it's like people just drive trucks and there's like behind like the behind what do you call it, like the manufacturing stuff, and then they drive the supplies up and other people distribute it, and that sounds like a really cool idea. I quite like that. I don't think I'd ever have the time to really invest in it. But say there are people who are just like drivers, and that's all they do. They just drive, basically. Hello, Nico Nathaniel. Why do you have so many spoilage to nutrient makers? I don't have a reason. There aren't that many. There's only 2. Well, 3, I guess now. Why are you not bringing enough stuff in? So these numbers are just too low, I think, with the requests. Hi, hello. Welcome to the stream. I just joined the Factorio WoW Guild. Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing. Are there many people in it? Elemento? I'm guessing that's what Corix was referring to, was it? The whole having set it up and stuff. Very gloopy. Very, very gloopy. How are we doing? Have you made any more? I think you made some more. Not a lot more, though. You do appear to be getting eggs, though. Very slowly. Okay. Ah. That's grabbing all the eggs, isn't it? So what we want is we want a second one for a net. That's probably not helping. So we also want the condition that only turns on if there's an egg in there, because it's not recycling them round. Okay. In fact, we could just copy paste that one. Yeah. What are you emptying out? Oh, spoilage, okay. Course spoilage. Why would you have spoilage if it's pentapod eggs? Shouldn't that have kicked out a... Or maybe it's only a percentage chance. Yeah, spoil result creates one big premature wriggler. Oh, it's a big wriggler. Interesting. I thought they made it medium ones. Huh. So, we're waiting on eggs, are we? So why aren't you putting... I guess you wouldn't put that in there until there's more than 2. Okay. I think maybe I'm going to do this because the bots are clearly not fulfilling their role. Stack size is 1. Where did they go? Isn't that the wrong way around? Yeah, because I want it recycling round before I want it doing that. So that's set on 2. This should be like 3. Cool. Yeah, didn't Kovarex say he started a WoW guild? Yeah, I think that's what he said. I think it was a guild. Or a server or something. Factory must grow, I think. Okay. Are you okay with tips, or do you want to figure things out yourself? For this playthrough, I'm... and generally, to be honest with you, I don't... no backseating, basically, so no, I'm not interested in tips. You're trusting unrequested and only requesting 1. Trashing. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I guess trash unrequested isn't on there. But then there we go. It's putting the spoilage in. Maybe, could I just put spoilage as 0 on there? Is that going to achieve the same thing? So if I do that... Ah, there we go. Huh. So I don't need to bother with trash unrequested at all, do I? Thinking about it. But yeah, it's also got a 1 limit on there, isn't it? So it's never actually going to get to that. Didn't think about that. So yeah, the bots will bring 1 in, and then that will just sit there because that's not going to work, is it? Because there's only 1, and it's never going to get another one. Okay. So if that then was... So we need to set that higher, don't we? What do we need to set that to? It needs to be 3. Does it put the spoilage from the nutrient in there then? I always thought it put it in a separate thing when they showed it on the Friday facts. So it's now got 3 in. No, it's got 2 in. So when that goes over... But then that is set to... I think I've created a logical contradiction, because this will turn on if there's more than 2. That don't work, does it? Because it's never going to be 3, because this one is going to always grab. So, yeah, because this is just going to stack up in there. I guess I could also just put that on there. In fact, why do I have any kind of condition on that at all? So this is basically like my Coverex setup. Because what we're going to end up... What I was trying to do, wasn't I? Is not put more than 1 in there. And only put them in if we need to do science. So I'm trying to both, like, in a sense, get more of them, as it were. I think I'm trying to do too many things with the one thing. Oops, less than 2 things. We'll just leave it like that for now. We got Tesla turrets, so we can zap them. Yes, thanks for the spot on that. 65 so far, apparently, on the WoW Guild. Which server is it on? Retail or Classic? Classic Anniversary, the Normal Realm, Thunderstrike, on Alliance. That's all gibberish to me, that. I'm Argand Priest on that realm. Arg and Priest. Argand Priest? I've either... It's all spoiled, or we've had somebody go back and forth. All requests satisfied. So I think we'll just chop those requests off, because I'm guessing it's spoiled. Yeah, there we go. 200. Half an hour to get home. Okay. could just do the thing I usually do and rely on guns, basically. For any of that hatch. So you're only going to turn on. Because I do need a second conditioner, don't I? Because I do want things to come back round, basically. It does seem to be growing stuff, though. Unless I put that on. Oh. I guess that's sometimes faster than that, is all that it is. Yeah, I think if I did connect that, let's give it another go. If we go, I'm able to say, well, only turn on basically if there's one sat in there. Let's give that a go. Oops. Do. Gloopy. Because that's waiting for there to be like loads of sand. This is doing a dam, isn't it? Because it's, yeah, we don't want this to be a requester, really. In fact, should that be a... That doesn't need to be a storage chest at all. It can just literally be a chest. Makes more sense if it's a chest, actually. Oh, so we're struggling on nutrient, actually. Yeah, that makes sense because that's empty. How much nutrient we got stocked up? Basically none. Okay. Yeah, so it's the nutrient that's too slow in a sense. So it puts one in there, but there's no gap for it. No, there is a gap and it puts it in, so it's only when we're getting you backed up that this will start using it. I think we're fine with that. Got 200 and something odd. So, where are you? You're at Nalvis. Oh, and you're waiting for a load of stuff. That'll teach me for using things on Gleba. I could just turn that off. Because it's waiting on quite a few things. Trouble is, it's got the uranium fuel in it. Oh, we don't want that running out. I know how much I've got just sat in, you know, the depleted stuff now. Okay. Could I adjust some of the... It's just the modules. That's on the way, and they're on the way. Okay. I'm going to be brave and maybe put that on 400. Did we actually do some research then? No, we haven't. Why have we not done any research? Did it all I bet it all spoiled. Oh no, it's there. Are we not at Nalvis then? Stopped at Nalvis. Why have you not dropped that off? Import from there. Okay, so it's coming back. It's not actually dropped that off. What have I done there? Huh? Okay. Okay, I don't quite understand all that stuff. um, ever considered having Gleba as research hub? Isn't it in the middle of all the planets? I don't know, is it? Space map. I guess. I like that these became arrows at some point. Because I don't think there were arrows before. I don't like that, you know. You should have. The trouble is, I guess, if you had like 20 platforms around Alvis, you just wouldn't be able to see them. But it's just, you know, the indicators could do with a bit of. Or at LAN party, it was like unclear what was going on. But I'm pretty sure they turned them into these arrows moving around. I mean, I never really used this particularly. So, yeah, you can send everything to Gleba, can't you? That's like a hub, as it were. I could do that. I was trying to minimise the amount of building I was doing on Gleba, to be honest with you. Yeah, and then once in orbit, it does that. So what actually happened here, chaps? Why is it because I put the number up to 400? But it should have just dropped it down anyway, shouldn't it? Puzzling. We'll have to wait for it to do another cycle. I haven't played enough to be certain. I know a lot of people do it. The problem, not problem, but the disadvantage you're giving yourself is you can't use the old biolab, you know, because you can only build biolabs on Nalvis surface. I love your spaceship. I like how early game spaceships are very put everything where it fits and don't get that as much in Naship's name. Biolabs change the equation on Gleba as a research lab. 2 times research bonus is irreplaceable. Indeed. Argan was a mathematician. Oh, right, like in the real world type of thing. Or in WoW. So it's that clever. We've ordered up the 400. We've still got another 200 we could drop down, but let's not get too greedy. We've now got the fuel in, and off we pop. I mean, I've obviously done a dumb, but I don't know what the dumb is the point. He's got no requests for them, so it shouldn't be fussed about not having them on board. Let's just watch it go back. Yep, there's a thing called an Argan diagram. That rings a bell. Why does that ring a bell? Argan diagram. That rings a bell. I don't know why. We're not busy doing this. I'd fire up Wikipedia. Complex numbers. Ah, yeah. I'm gonna look that up afterwards. Gleba needs more love. It's my favourite planet. Unload is unchecked. Ah! Yeah. Well spotted. Thank you. I'm nervous. See, I knew it was a dumb. This is this thing. They did say at the LAN party, and I've said this quite a few times in the things, that they've kind of been through a lot of these menus like over and over again, particularly the rocket launch one. And like every time, it's like people are. It's not, it's not quite right. It's not quite right. It didn't quite do it. And some of this stuff, like the ticking the unload stuff, it's all a bit weird. And it's like when you set these requests, you have to do. Well, you set them. Is that right? Yeah, and when you do it in a certain position, you get the whole, like from a certain view, you get this whole import from. But if you do it in other places, you don't get that, I think. I can't remember. I think it's to do with the hubs. So when you're on a hub, is that right? And you're doing the logistic request here. Yeah, so it doesn't give you the import from. So you can easily set the request here. And it'll be set then on the platform. but you won't be able. You can't tell it where to import it from until you actually go to the platform one. It's a bit sort of, and I do, you know, I say it's so complicated and so like weird in a lot of ways. And a big part of it, I think, for me is that, and I've said this a few times, is that they've like tried to simplify it, you know, and tried to make it as automated as they can without you then doing that automation. And they've kind of succeeded. You know, it does work, but it means that it's got quirks to it where it's like, because it, you know, it does have obviously the tips and tricks thing, you know, but they don't give a lot of detail in there, you know. And not everyone, you know, watches your... I mean, I haven't actually. I've been kind of avoiding your Nil Houses and your Catherine of the Skies and all those people who do tutorials, you know. Why am I looking at that one? It's completely the wrong platform. There we go. So did you drop it down? You dropped it down, I think. Yes? No? No. Is that the right one? That's the right one. So we got a 400 there. Science is not happening though. Okay, is that just because it's working its way through? We're at now this. Ah, yes, here we go. I've no way of managing spoilage in these labs. It's basically, unless we burn it through, which hopefully we will. 400 is quite a lot, and it was quite spoiled when it sent it. But we're probably going to end up with labs backed up with spoilage, basically. I need to come back here and read, you know, probably work through these, but... And yeah, just sorry, I didn't really do that point. I don't dislike Gleba. My issue with it is the building on the terrain, particularly around these bits where it's all like little bits of water, and you know you can't like almost say I didn't know that this yellow stuff was like super clear, and people tip me in. But even here, it's so full of trees and bits and pieces and stuff like that. You say build at almost anything anywhere, and you've got to put down landfill and stuff like that, and I find that annoying. Excuse me, but now that I've got bots and, you know, construction stuff and all that sort of, I can automate all of it. It's not so bad. And I don't, you know, I don't find the spoilage thing particularly frustrating or anything. It's sort of just another thing to manage. So I don't dislike it. I do find that, you know, visually it's far too busy for me. You know, there's far too many different decoratives and colours and textures, and but so you kind of turn that off, and I'm going to give that a go at some point and see what that is. But yeah, I don't want to on stream. Cool. Okay. The big question really is: did we make any biolamps? Because we don't have any green circuits. Because I haven't bothered with bacteria. But we certainly have some bottles of goop. What I might do, I don't know why I haven't set it on that anyway. So if we set it to, well, let's set it to like 450 or something. No, it's 500. Let's do 500. Because if the platform's only requesting 400. Now, what's their production speed? 0.64 a second. Okay. So, we want Volcanus. What were we doing? So these guys were doing like 0.4 a second. So then, 0.4, because that was then 4, 8, 12. So 1.6 a second. And what we ended up with here is like 1.2 a second. So it's technically slower, but we kind of don't want it hanging around. Did we use up all the green stuff? Looks like we used it all up. I'm happy with that, I think. If it just comes every so often, as it were. And takes about 400 or so back. Sticking point is probably going to be the slowest part, is these conditions that I'm still not brave enough to get rid of. Okay, so the next thing is the fact we don't have any of them. You know, so we can't take those back to Nauvis. Not that am I actually all that bothered about taking them back to Nauvis. We need the bioflux, obviously, because we've got to do the biter capture and all that sort of fun and games. But yeah, we need to set up the whatever it's called, reprocessing stuff. Bacteria. Bacteriology. Yeah, the import from thing is a little annoying. I feel like it'd be better if the import from was on a group instead of individual groups. Yeah, definitely. Hello, Fleshgo. Hope you're doing well. I found out how many rockets it takes to launch a full ship into space in a single go. How many is that then? Rockets take to launch a full ship into space in a single go. You mean as in the platforms? Because does that depend on how big your... You mean as in so... like a min-size spaceship? Or just one of your spaceships sort of thing? Because obviously, the bigger you build it, the more you need sort of thing. Full ship into space. Yeah, right. So we need to bacteria, basically. I say they introduced this so late in the actual thing, and I remember messing about with it, but not really properly understanding it. So we need to what does that do? So that takes in jelly and turns it into bacteria and spoilage. Okay. And then the bacteria we can basically just leave in the chest to spoil. I think. What's the other one? What's the cultivation one? What's that all about? This one. Is that just better? Oh, because it's a 10% chance. So it's only percentage. Okay, so that's way better, isn't it? But it requires bioflux. Okay. So if we have a couple of... like one of those on the go. Yeah, there you go. Only doing a bit of spoilage, whereas this one... yeah, it definitely produces it, but we've got to have some bacteria. Okay. Looks like we've got a bacteria. There we go. Does it output bacteria then? It does. Okay. So instead of bots doing it, I guess I could filter to bacteria. Filter to bacteria. Your bacteria. I guess we then also need like a continuous demand for the bacteria. Although this will just give us a random chance, won't it, of having one every so often to like re-kickstart it, I guess. Yeah. So if we put yeah, bacteria. There. Doesn't matter on that one. We don't really want the well, we could do trash on request. Where are they taking them then? I guess they're putting them in there, aren't they? So also just looping them back around and stuff. So take the trash unrequested off, and then I can do the same trick again. It occurred to me of using the top limit on it. One of them. I think my setting it by circuit network is a bit redundant, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, how slow are you? 3 a second. Using half of one every second. Okay. I don't want that just filling up with them, do I? So really, we want this Is it on read content? Ah, no, of course, set request. You can't do both. Why is it a radio button, not a checkbox? How else would I limit that? In fact, as I say, the set request is like redundant anyway. So let's read content and tell you to only switch on if there's less than 50 or less than 100. So the bots will only replace that if it gets super low. Iron has gone there. I guess we could do trash unrequested now. Yeah. And if I make that a proper group, oh, it's easy. I just copy and paste it over. So that will eventually just drop into iron ore. That only turns on. Do I need that to only turn on? I don't think I need a request on that, do I? Doesn't matter. Just empty it. Empty it, lad. Empty it. Okay, so guess let's try and minimise the nutrients a bit. Make sure it's not too slow. 3.74 a second. Cool. It's not getting much jelly, is it? But I don't need it to. It's just like a backup. Keep some bacteria maybe happening. And I'll pull out whatever they need to there. That's cool. So I guess try and minimise that. Remove that. Cool. So let's do some. And if I just copy this up, swap these to coppers. No, which one is it? It's that one, yeah. And then recycle your bacterias. I was doing it all with belts when I was messing about when they introduced it. What I haven't really checked on is how we're doing with... Oh, I've got loads of spare bots. Excellent. Cool. I thought I took those off. Oh, I can't because it's not got a... This is another quirk. You can put modules in things now, even though you don't have a recipe set. Which means you can like add in and get rid of modules, even though you don't have a recipe set. It's all a bit sort of... Wait, what? I saw that. Okay. So we're now, hopefully, chugging away making some bacteria. We don't care if those fill up and stuff, do we? Don't matter. Completely blocked up on iron, it's fine. In these chests. Oh, and obviously I need to change all the filters, don't I? Why did that? Yeah, that should be that one. And then that's the advantage of having the set the recipe. Is it just those? I think it's just those, isn't it? Oh no, that needs its orange bacterias. That needs to be copper. That... Oh, is it still the... Oh, did I not change that? I didn't change that, did I? Okay, so that should be the green stuff. Isn't the green stuff... Yeah, green stuff's made out of Yamako. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay there. So if we just sort of put that across. There we go. Some iron, some copper, some smelting, some circuits. Hopefully. Maybe. Eventually. Did I... yeah. This just hasn't made any, has it? It's just chugging away. What are you waiting on? Bacteria. Cool, okay. We could always go and get some by hand and start it. Anything else we're not done? Where are we? So we've got a production of green science, which hopefully is quite a lot, aren't they? Is that because this is not working properly? Stopped at Gleba. It's waiting on them. On the way 0. Unfulfilled request 400. Is that... That's probably more to do with... So that's not even turned on to automatic. And this doesn't have things to make rockets. I completely forgot about making them. Okay. So that's our gap, basically, is making rocket bits. Now, the cheaty way of doing it why have I got so much yellow ammo? Because that's on 500. The cheaty way of doing it is just import the rocket bits. Import the rocket bits. Am I going to do that? I think I might do that. So if we turn... Oops. Oh, that is switched on. Is it switched off on the planet? Is that where I've switched it off? No. In the hub here. So I didn't switch it off at all. I thought I switched it off. I'm getting quite confused. Because it was the artillery we're waiting. Oh, I turned the request for artillery down. Okay, that's fine. Because we've got BMGs, so we don't really need them. The normal money drills. Obviously, this has got the uranium fuel, so that's okay. It's just we do have quite a lot of space, you see. So I am very minded to bring the rocket fuel and stuff in, just so that we can get done, basically, or keep it running, basically. I do want to build them there, but it's not going to happen super quick. So how about how many does that stack to? Rocket capacity 100. Wow, okay. That'd be 5 stacks of that. Rocket capacity 200, 4 stacks. Wow, okay. Did it say 400 or 200? 200. So that'd be 4 stacks if we went down that route. I will probably shorten these or reduce these. Blue circuits then, rocket capacity 300. So that's 3 stacks. Okay, so if we were to go, so that'd be 3. What was that? 4, 7. And then 5 would be 12. So it could just fit in, depending on what else is on there. I mean, now that we've got those, do we need to bother bringing more in, for example? But, where are you now? You stopped at Gleba. What are you waiting for? Science packs, of course. I think we'll just manually send you back, and then you'll have the stuff to make a rocket, I think. Okay. Yeah, because these are just outer rocket fuel. Okay. So, is there anything we've kind of not set up that this does? There's the whole carbon thing. But that's kind of for later in a sense. I mean, we could set it up now. Obviously it doesn't go off carbon. And I don't think I'm making this. Ah, so they do rocket fuel. Okay. But obviously need solid fuel and light oil. Oh right, it does cracking as well, does it? Huh. I wonder if they added that in. One of the observations I made when I did like a feedback thing on why Gleba was rubbish, basically. And one of the things was that it was like the cryo lab was meant to be like a chemical lab version 2. Like they geared it up to that, and so the recipes that the this biochamber thing had were all just around Gleba. So it was like, what was the point in taking them anywhere else? Because they didn't do anything else. But this is literally able to do the chemical plant recipes there. And it also obviously does... Because the other thing of it is, like, you could use it to make sulphur with a 50% bonus. I mean, who cares about making sulphur? But they're oil products, so oil is like completely unlimited on Nalvis. You know, completely free and unlimited on Falgora. And there's so much coal on Volcanus that you just coal liquefaction it. So what was the point in trying to use this to make plastic and stuff? You know, obviously you get it at 50%, but sort of so what? And of course you have to make it from the mash and stuff. So you're either having to, import/export the actual, ingredients as well, or you're making it here and shipping it elsewhere, and that's surely less efficient than just making it locally. But it's interesting they've made it do that, and it is literally the recipe. You don't have to stick in... I guess you have to stick in nutrients, but then isn't there the fish nutrient recipe? I don't think I've got that yet, have I? Factorio PDM. Can you do the fish nutrient recipe on Nalvis? Nutrients from fish. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be limited. And does fish breeding work? Yeah, so fish breeding is literally limited to Nalvis. But nutrients from fish isn't. So you can make nutrients on Nalvis then. Okay. I don't think I'll do any of that. But it's interesting they've made it be a chemical lab Mark II. So did they take off of cryo? Just getting into territory of stuff that, I say, they changed so late. I didn't really even know what they did. Where is it? Cryo plant. So yeah. So it still does. This is what I was saying, because it had these and it does the batteries as well. And they're not like limited to, that's just the normal recipe, and that's just the normal recipe, and that's just the normal recipe. So the idea seemed to be that you would take the cryo plant around as a replacement to this. Because obviously it doesn't have its 50% bonus, but is it 8 module slots it's got? Yeah, 8 module slots. So it's you could stick so much into it that it gives you 50% almost. Especially with quality. Yeah, and it does acid, using the normal recipe. Does acid neutralisation as well. That's interesting. So yeah, so it does all the chemical plant recipes. And I was looking at it going, well, why, why would I bother with a biochamber at all? Because it doesn't do anything that is not reliant on nutrients, and nutrients were locked to Gleba. So this building isn't completely useless, is what I'm getting at. Okay. What I was trying to do there is essentially convince myself that I do need to put it on rockets. The agri tower, I bet, is completely useless still, isn't it? Basically, just you can plant trees. Yay, hurrah. Great for all you botanists, but not actually all that useful. Although I guess, do you still make trees? Do you make fish from fish, basically using nutrient? Let's do that searching. My little fishy fish. Yeah. Fish breeding requires nutrient. Okay. I'm sure there was a thing with wood. I'll tell you a little secretly one. You know the animations that you see, the videos it plays in the background, when you've got the menu open. I don't know if they were all Erendors, but Erendor was doing a thing, and it was they did it in some of the originals. Like there's one where there's a Spidertron hidden by you have to move the menu out of the way, and you can see there's a Spidertron, and it has all little Spidertrons placed on the ground to look as if they're like children, basically, little spiderlings, basically. And Erendil did a lot of that in the animations he did for for SpaceX. And there's one of them, if you look, it's got a platform, and if you move the menu out of the way, behind it is just bits of wood, so as in placed wood in the middle of the platform. And what that is because originally in one version, very early version of the game, you were actually building platforms that had like biospheres on them. So I think I didn't get this bit confirmed. I know that this was a thing because when I was playing in the LAN party, if you move that out of the way, there was a tree and like a lake in the middle of the platform, basically. And the idea was that you were building like a sort of an arcosphere, I say, sort of a thing for the engineer to basically get off planet. And I think that might have been one of the early concepts that they tried out, was that it wasn't about just number goes up, make more science. It was more about, can the engineer escape from get home, basically. And so you were building a spaceship capable of taking you home, and that was how you got oxygen, type of thing. A lot more of a complicated thing. I'm kind of hoping that's what Erendel does with SpaceX. But yeah, so a little secret for you there. Input from thing is have I played around with parameterization at all? No, I literally haven't touched it. It looks awesome. I remember reading it out and reading it through and speculating about it on the Friday Facts. I do want to get into it, but no, I have literally not touched it. It does look like it'd be a lot of fun, but I'm not sure this streaming thing. Having a thing, I'm a bit chronic for it anyway, where I get absorbed in the game and I'm just playing and I forget that you're all there, sort of thing. And I'm just mumbling away. And I think that would be a bit of a case of that as well. I just get so into it that I just, it would be the least interesting viewing you could imagine. Yeah, I got to agree with that criticism. I used the biochamber cracking recipes on Nauvis and the rocket fuel recipe on Volcanus and Nauvis, but that was completely unnecessary. I only did it because I liked Gleba and wanted more of it. Kind of is useless though. Do you mean like early Space Age 2020-ish or early Factorio 2014-ish? I think so. I think maybe when Erendel was doing his big all-in version, where he had like, I can't remember what they said. It was like 14 recipes on Gleba, and or 14 fruits or something like that. Because there are certain restrictions, and in that quick and dirty version. I think that was the concept. I don't know how far it got, but certainly, as I say, there was and you can see it. There's a platform where it's just flying along. If you move the menu out of the way, you'll see some bits of wood on the thing, and that was like a tree. And it was a piece of art. It was like a proper piece of artwork. It's a shame I don't think I recorded it. I might have done, but it would have been quite a nice thing to have as a. This is a little thing that they did before, and they did say in the terms of that we could show everything after the embargo date. So, and it was in then. But yeah, it was like this cool little thing. And I really like that idea, but it seems like way too complicated. I think is the problem. Happy Christmas! Hello, Ultimate Place. I think you're a bit early for that one. But happy Christmas to you, I guess. So, what's going on with this platform? Has it been going back and forth still, doing things? It's been dropping off agri-science packs, hopefully. Because this doesn't appear to have ticked up very quickly. What are you waiting? Anything? You're just moving back. I hope it dropped that stuff off, and that's why it's, moving, basically, because we've got rockets. We haven't got much rocket fuel, interestingly. Yeah, it's like, the bichamber, okay, makes rocket fuel. Great. But you've got to get solid fuel and light oil to it. And there's no oil on Gleba. Isn't there eventually a recipe? Can you turn carbon into coal or something? So you could go through a torturous... Yeah, here we go. No, that's the opposite way around, isn't it? See that one? Coal synthesis, there you go. So you could get oil, I guess, by making carbon and sulfur, and then using this. Although it's interesting, it says it's in a chemical plant rather than the biochamber. Using that in order to make coal, and then using coal liquefaction to turn it back into heavy oil. That's getting into Bob's Angels type territory, isn't it? Of, turn it into this, to turn it into that, to turn it into this, to turn it into that, to turn it into this. All it's lacking is like 1 million byproducts. But then I suppose it would have byproducts, wouldn't it? Because you'd need... Oh no, well you could just use petroleum. Just burn it, basically, turn it into solid fuel. Cool, okay. I'm not going to bother with any of that then. We'll just import it from Nalvis. Cool. Any other recipes then? Because we're still waiting on carbon fibre to run through. What else could we do? I say we should set up some of that, and it sounds like I need a lot more spoilage for some reason. Because I've got a tiny bit of plastic on the go, a tiny bit of sulphur to do. Have I got sulphur? But do I need sulphur for anything? I guess explosives and rockets and stuff like that, but we're not there yet. Could scale up, I guess. Could add in more. Yeah, we always need more spoilage. How much sort of fruit stuff have we got? Are these desperately spoiling away? We've not got too much spare, have we? But then I think I've managed to get it just at the wrong point. Look at all that. Could maybe try and sort of industrialise the farming a bit more. I seem to have outstripped where I got to with the research, basically, is the problem. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Oh, it plays? Yeah, not too bad. Hope you're okay as well. You're fine? Good, good. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's 6 o'clock. I had not realised the time had gone by so quickly. There's also a bioflux rocket fuel recipe. Okay, that must be later because we've not even done one green science basically. I wonder as well, have I ended up with loads of spoilage? No, we're okay because it's coming in so slowly, I guess. We've got spoilage on the belt, but we don't really care about that. That's fine. And 5 legs is what? It's bringing more rocket fuel back. And low-density structures and cool blue circuits. Does that mean we... Oh, we just did a trip, I guess. What? Why did I not see... Getting my buttons all mixed up. I guess it just burnt through it. It's just used up all the green science. Okay. Oh, we've spoiled one. Or some. We don't have eggs. Why don't we have eggs? Got eggs now. Okay. What are you waiting? Nothing. You're all fine. Ah, nutrient again. Yeah, I think I need lots of nutrient production, don't I? But yes, it is 6 o'clock, which is ending time. Have we got lots of spare, like, bioflux? Not really. Yeah, I think probably next time we need to do a bit of scaling up. I mean, we literally have one tower, you know? So, it's not surprising I've sort of burnt through what it's producing. So we can maybe mess about with this stuff. Let's see if we can't make... And in fact, I don't think this had any... Isn't this like... Yeah, it's not a very big area of trees. And that looks like... Oh no, it is a proper one. So yeah, we can maybe mess about with the whole... landfill stuff. Fill out more of this now that we've reclaimed it. If I remember, I will go and put that artillery in so that we've got a bit of working space. It's literally just going to be an artillery. We won't have all the other bits and pieces on it. And are these all sort of full up? Yeah, so it's been merrily bringing in uranium ammo. Cool. I already have it. All right, okay. Bioflux rocket fuel. Oh, is it done in a chemical lab or something then? Whoops. No. Click the right button. Biofuel rocket fuel. Rocket fuel from jelly, okay. Was I just not looking at it? I wasn't looking at it, was I? Okay. So maybe we could make that locally. In fact, we probably will make them all locally then. Why didn't I see that? Just blind, I guess. So if we pop one of them down. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Oh, you can make lube as well. Okay. Let's just set that then. Cool. Yes. So 6 o'clock. So that's shot by. I enjoyed that. So I'm enjoying, Gleba as the challenge of Gleba. I do like. I quite like the mechanic, and I say bots for me is like the solution in a sense, because it's what I decided to do because of finding it so frustrating building on all of this stuff. Because you would want quite a lot of space to do belts, or you'd have to weave it all round and spaghetti it and stuff. Which is fine. I enjoy building that as well, but I just kind of figure get it done really. I'm interested in not so many pentapod attacks coming in. I guess these are doing a good job at keeping them clear, but I don't remember seeing anything, alerting me. But I guess we'd have got bigger warnings if there'd been more attacks. Cool. Right. Well, there we go. That's it for today and for this weekend. So I don't know whether the whole camera thing was a success or not, because it's such an intermittent problem. As to whether it causes an issue or not, it's difficult to know. I'll have to give it several weeks, I think. What I can do now that I've got that SD card in it is I can set up the. Am I going to have time to do that before next stream? I don't know, maybe not. I can set up the HDMI output on it, so it should be a better quality, because this is like a USB connection, so it's a bit ropey. But yeah, so. I say it didn't freeze, but then there are some streams where it doesn't freeze anyway. So we'll have to see if that has fixed the problem. In terms of me, so if you're new here, I basically stream every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, 3 o'clock. It's a 3-hour stream. It's basically all I can squeeze in every week. And at the moment, we are just playing Factorio Space Age with the aim of getting that finished, at least doing my first run through and streaming all of that. Anticipation is that we will probably get to Aquilo by Christmas, because that's now, is that 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away? I'll be taking a little break over Christmas, and then we will pick back up again with probably Aquilo and getting out to the outer, whatever it's called, the solar system edge, which is where I will probably leave this series. There's no intention of doing Shattered Planet, or I might go and do a bit of Prometheum Science just to have a bit of fun with that, but see if I can build a ship that'll survive type of thing. But yeah, it's not going to be a big old series or anything like that, where I build a mega base or any of that stuff. What I'll do then in terms of Factorio, I don't know. I'm not anticipating that'll be a fair, like February or something before I get there, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so plan is, or hope is, to get to Aquilo by Christmas and then pick up after Christmas. I say we will be doing that continuously until I am done, and my name is in the stars, in the star map. After I say, I'm also quite keen to pick up the likes of Tectonica, Satisfactory, Disosphere Program, which have all had big updates, or they've launched into their 1.0 or what have you. So I do at least want to pick those up as series, and I'll probably end up doing a Saturday Factorio, Sunday, or maybe the other way around actually. Sunday Factorio and Saturday Space Age. Might even pick up, now that I don't do the Friday Facts videos, I might even pick up doing an extra stream, I don't know. But I do want to actually get back to doing proper videos. I've kind of taken a break from this week altogether. Because for those who don't know me, I do have a YouTube channel as well, if you're on Twitch, if you're not watching this on YouTube already. But on that YouTube, it has all the archive of all my VODs, obviously. And I've done loads of series of Factorio and say those other games as well. But also what I was kind of known for, that sounds very grand, doesn't it? But some people, and watching this and knowing, for those that don't know, I used to do the Friday Facts read-throughs, and I would go into quite a lot of speculation and like really going into detail and talking about it and blah, 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 blah. And that's all stopped because they're now not doing any more Friday Facts. They might do, they said, and I expect they will when they do 2.1. So when they do an update, and maybe, they'll add in a few little bits and pieces that they're worth talking about on Friday Facts. So I will pick those up then. But otherwise, I need to work on all these other video ideas. As I say, I was very naughty this weekend and didn't really continue writing those scripts because I want to do them as like properly scripted, bit slick. Because the whole point of my YouTube channel really is like teaching myself skills, like around editing and things like that. So yeah. Cool. If you wanted to follow me on socials and just see when I'm going live and what have you, and if I am posting videos and what have you, then you can follow me on either Twitter or Blue Sky. And there is a Discord. I do not tend to be very active on Discord, but everyone's got a Discord, so there is a Discord. Tend to be a little bit, tiny bit more active on Blue Sky, but not. I don't really do social media, if I'm honest. So there you go. That's all about me. I think I'm just looking at the list because I've forgotten. Right, so yes, if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. Whoops. If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio Space Age. Thanks for watching. Cheers.